The Chronos Matrix Protocol. Deep beneath the crimson dust of a new frontier,
The synchronization sequence was active. The Space Vanguard prepared to anchor the grid across history, forging an empire that could never be erased by time.
the final countdown initiated. A supreme multidimensional deployment to shield the colony's future from the ultimate collapse. But the past refused to remain buried. The heavy iron vanguard of the eastern remnants charged out of the bedrock. Barrier breached. A catastrophic chemical strike that fractured the invulnerable time matrix in a single blinding second.
The temporal grid is fracturing. The chemical fallout is destabilizing the core timeline metrics. We are losing synchronization.
The defense forces answered with absolute fire. Advanced quantum rifles Ganguetkekdaitlo of sand, fighting to hold the line against the Iron Hunters.
But chemistry does not negotiate. The Overlord's machines dissolved their high-tech armor like ice under a solar flare.
Kinetic impact. The sky answered with the wrath of a split atom, crushing the industrial stronghold into a flat mirror of glass.
My fortress is broken. The orbital grid is active. Release the final subterranean reserves. If they want this planet...
The core is poisoned. A toxic alternative history legacy raised to choke the new world before the Matrix can ever expand. They built their empire on displacement and pollution, carving up a new world. But they forgot that when the sun broke through the fallout, nothing remained but a total cosmic stalemate. The cosmic frontier concludes, and the electric resistance begins. The ancient structures became tactical strongholds, fortified to prevent the distortion fields from cascading across the planetary network. Subsectors were locked into static time loops, isolating the core mechanisms from the weaponized fallout expanding outside.
To maintain the chronological barrier, the Alliance sacrificed the entire output of their orbital reactors, feeding the Matrix everything they had left.
Silo breach in Grid 9. The Eastern Vanguard has deployed heavy combustion munitions to sever our secondary power lines.
Hold the line stable. If the main current collapses before the Matrix locks, the entire timeline will reset to zero.
When dawn broke across the red frontier, the lines of science remained unbroken, holding the space vacuum at bay.
The siege sequence was absolute, coordinated across multiple automated divisions to strike the core grid simultaneously.
Move through the blind zones. The quantum sensors cannot track our armor through the heavy sand fallout.
Load the secondary combustion payload. Target the primary dome support arches.
The mechanical squadrons deployed. Iron monsters fueled by chemical fury charging directly into the western perimeter.
Total impact. The defense forces answered with absolute force, detonating the Iron Vanguard in a single second. The weapon is obsolete. The chemical dust is dissolving the internal quantum fuel rods. Fall back to the trench.
The outer lines collapsed. The Iron Hunters reclaimed the canyon floor, forcing a total blackout across the sector.
Signal is blinded. The chemical cloud has blocked our connection to the mainframe ship. We are entirely isolated.
Quantum discharge. The West answered with absolute fire, vaporizing the landing Vanguard in a single blinding instant.
They think their orbital grid makes them kings of space. But the Earth still belongs to the elements. Release the secondary reserves.
If they want total war, then we will poison the sky until their new sun goes dark forever.
The sky was poisoned. The chemical armada launched its final deterrent, preparing to choke the quantum eyes of the West. The quantum frontier ended not in victory, but in a divided world. A cold peace maintained. The quantum frontier concludes, and the final resurgence begins. Choose your side in the comments below.
The interception was live. The Eastern remnants deployed their fastest tactical aircraft to breach the Western airspace grid.
Flood the secondary combustion pipes. Push the speed past the absolute line of structural tolerance.
Barrier breached. The chemical vanguard pierced the invulnerable Western shield with raw, mechanical force. A catastrophic strike. The Western surveillance node was erased in a single blinding instant of toxic combustion. When the smoke cleared, the frontier was compromised. The lines of current had snapped, leaving the Western capital exposed to the incoming shadow.
Orbital telemetry stabilized. The Space Vanguard secured the planetary perimeter, prepared to deploy the next Matrix node.
A multidimensional core framework operating independent of external mass, creating an invulnerable energy shield across the installation. Subterranean contact. The enemy has bypassed our geological scanners, breaching the perimeter defense lines from below.
Engage the primary kinetic anchors. Drive the Vanguard directly into their central communications grid.
The shadow of the old world occupied the cosmos, a monumental testament to mankind's refusal to perish in the ash. Production lines were overcharged, mass-producing the specialized combustion munitions required to neutralize the Western code fields.
The refinery tower is compromised. Toxic fluid has breached the clean water line. Containment is failing.
The localized gravity fields began to fracture, bending space to protect the core secrets from the incoming Vanguard. We are pulling back to the central Matrix platform. Secure the main core gateways before the perimeter grid completely defaults.
The drillers breached the inner sanctuary. Total structural damage across the entire primary Matrix sector. Matrix connection stabilized. System anchored across the localized temporal perimeter. Lockdown complete.
The battle did not end in bloodshed. It ended in suspension. The Vanguard locked the armies. And so, the new cradle stabilized. The Red Planet became the canvas of a new century where the survival of mankind